that will be scheduled on your finals week. It will cover 50% from the finals topic, 25% from the midterms, and 25% from the prelims. So in short, you will be having your cover to cover examination during your finals week. So to help you with that, on May 5th and May 12th, there will be graded recitations for you to have advanced, early review for your on-site quizzes, for the benefit of your pre-finals and final examination. So ang ating graded recitation is just one question, one answer. So one specific question will be asked of you to answer. Kapag hindi kayo natapos or hindi kayo natawag ng May 5, you will be called on the second day that will be on May 12. So this will help you not only review but to give you a better scores for final term. Okay, so these questions are just easy questions, no? That I believe you can answer naman. Okay? So, yun po, no? So, I want you to be ready on this. Para hindi po tayo nahihirapang mag-compute ng grade, no? Wag nating pahirapan yung sarili natin na wala tayong ma-compute na grade kasi hindi tayo nagpa-participate. And also, you have to refrain from absentees, no? Or from any form of absences. Either online man for your class participation, graded recitation, or on-site, no? So, for whoever who will fail to take the quizzes, examinations, pre-finals, or even final examinations on time, please expect that you will be marked as incomplete. So, pag incomplete po, hindi ka po kasama sa endorsement muna ng mag-i-intern. For us to give an ample time for those students who attend classes and take their examinations and quizzes on time, to be fair with them. No, kasi syempre kung nagtitake sila ng examinations and quizzes on time, they should also receive their grades on time. So sa mga late na nag-exam at nag-quiz, you should not expect that in return. Okay? So again, going back to our agenda for this morning, this is our last discussion for the lecture, which is all about the transfusion reaction. So I was talking to Sir Erwin yesterday, and the other day, Saturday. So he informed me that you are not done yet with the discussion of component therapy, which is also included sa ating pre-final. So this week matatapos na daw niya. So most probably you will expect na magkakaroon kayo ng pre-final examination on the week of 14 to 19. Yan. Week 14 to, ay sorry, hindi pala kasama yung 14. Week, ay sorry, April pala to. May, on the week of May 12 to May 13 to 17. That week will be expected for the days of your pre-final examination, May 13 to 17. Okay. So for transfusion reactions, there are risks, no, in having transfusion as a donor and as a recipient. So, but first we'll start with the risk of anemia. So this is the reason why during the donor screening, we have to check for the hemoglobin and hematocrit concentrations of our donor. Kasi even if sometimes there is a good deed, no, that a donor would like to perform or would like to do, kung ano man yung kanyang reason, faith, or kung ano mang paniniwala or practice na yan. So it is still important to assess the safety of the donor. Of course, we'll be also discussing about the benefits of RBC transfusion as well as the risk of RBC transfusion. So mortality is related more to blood loss than the low pre-operative hematocrit. So in cases na hindi po nasasalinan, no, yung patient natin that had a bleeding during the operation or before the operation, um, there is always the risk of anemia, no? And for the donors na hindi na evaluate na maigi yung kanilang hemoglobin at hematocrit prior blood donation, they also have the high risk of anemia. So probably no, at your age, some of you might manifest anemia already. Kailangan nyo pong palakasin ang immune system, no? Kasi the signs and symptoms of anemia, of course, includes if it includes pika, yung weakening of the immune system, ganyan, and the feeling of parang lagi kang napapagod or lagi kang hinihingal. So of course, because the RBC contains oxygens inside, so kapag lagi kang hinihingal, probably this is one of the reason. No, it also includes acute normovolemic hemodilutional anemia with healthy patients, no, that has historically been well tolerated. So pwedeng nagka-anemia ka, no, months or years before, nag-take ka ng medication and vitamins, naging okay. So kaya nga lang nag-donate ka, so pwedeng ma-trigger po ulit 'yon, no. Once you have anemia, I suggest na hindi na po kayo dapat nagdo-donate ng dugo because there is always the risk of it coming back, and hemodilutional anemia during CPB is less tolerated. Benefits of transfusion, no, critically ill without active bleeding, no. So with and without cardiovascular disease. Patients with acute coronary syndromes includes myocardial infarction and unstable angina, and patients with sepsis or septic shocks. So these are the risks, no, actually. Pagawin natin to, hindi to benefit. This one is a risk. Yan. So, benefits of transfusion, no, in transfusion related in critical care. So, without active bleeding, ayan, merong restrictive strategy from 7 to 9 grams per deciliter. But remember, sa Pilipinas, we only follow the 7 to 9 grams per deciliter na hemoglobin kapag ka autologous. So, ang sinusunod pa rin talaga natin is yung 12, no, grams per deciliter. Again, this one is for autologous only. So population is coming from the euvolemic patients. So this one is an excerpt from a journal. No, so exclusion criteria, yung mga may chronic anemia, endpoint 30-day survival. So they are trying to test, no, yung blood sample ng anemic patient, no. So kung kaya niya bang mag-survive ng 30 days, no, and it has a restrictive strategy, at least as effective and possible to superior liberal strategy. So with patients with cardiovascular disease, no, 357 points with cardiovascular disease, meaning there is no difference, no, yung mortality rates ng restrictive at saka yung may liberal strategy. Pag sinabi nating restrictive, ito po yung may mga lesser requirements, no, na tinatawag upon transfusion. And for the liberal strategy, ito yung standard na protocols that we follow during blood donation. Ayan. So, however, there is a decreased survival in restrictive group in settings of ACS or unstable angina. So, yung samples, no, ng may anemia versus dun sa normal blood donors or healthy donors, walang pinagkaiba. But yung samples from the group with coronary diseases versus the liberal group, nagkaroon siya ng decreased RBC survival rate. So with this, no, nagkaroon ng mga different points of view. So this one is a goal directed protocol. So we just want to identify the outputs, no, if it's really okay or not okay. So the RBC transfusions perform in goal-directed protocol to maintain central venous oxygen which is greater than 70%. So ibig sabihin, ang gusto lang naman nating malaman is kung okay pa rin, efficient pa din yung mga samples no na galing sa mga restrictive custody and sa liberal state. So which contains at least a 70% of the oxygen to maintain the survival rate no of the RBCs. So pinatagal pa nila, umabot pa ng hanggang day 60 no so to identify. So it turned out that yun nga, yung patients with coronary diseases, yung nagbigay ng lower survival rate compared to anemic patients. So, yung blood sample ng anemic, walang naging problema. Uh, pero sa patient na may anemia, syempre, doon mas nagkaroon ng impact. So, it is not still safe no for transfusion. We also have transfusion of infectious diseases, no negative effects on immune system, and of course the TRALI, the ARDS, no or the acute lung injury and the acute related distress syndrome. So ito yung mga pwedeng maging risk ng transfusion sa ating mga um, recipients no ng blood. So it could either be immediate, could be um, delayed no yung mga effects nitong mga transfusion related infections or injury. So for the viral, syempre yung well known na natatransmit no na viral infection via blood is the Hepa B, Hepa C, HIV, and the HTLV. Yung emerging, we have Chagas, West Nile malaria, Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. So that's why there is a necessary screening test no to identify the possibility of the um, existing infection or virus doon sa ating blood sample. But actually, in the Philippine setting, for the viral, we only check for hepatitis B, CV, HIV, and malaria. Actually, yan. Sometimes syphilis, pero namamatay naman din kasi yung mga um, um, yung ating mga spirochetes no sa cold temperatures at least 3 days na stocking ng blood. So, yan sa ibang bansa, ayan, kung mapapansin niyo meron ding mga travel history questions sa mga donor screening because meron silang mga temporary deferral from the endemic areas which has the high incidence no of the um, diseases mentioned, no, just like the malaria. Now, for the post-operative infection, so according to Taylor et al., there's a 10% increase in nosocomial infection with unit of transfused RBC. So these are the hospital-related infection. So pwedeng mahina yung immune system ng ating pasyente, ganyan, no? And puwedeng magkaroon siya as simple as febrile fever, ganyan. So, but we need to investigate if it really came from the transfusion. Immunomodulation, so this one is the dose response relationship between the transfusion and the development of multi-organ failure in trauma patients. So, some of the reasons why we transfuse blood is, of course, naubusan sila ng dugo or puwede ring nagkaroon ng active bleeding prior operation. So to ensure na hindi mamamatay yung pasyente natin due to loss of blood, yan we transfused pack RBCs. So the mechanism of this is to possible mediation between the allogenic white blood cell donors. Kailangan we try to kill no the WBCs existing from the packed red cells. So this is what we call the irradiated WBCs. Then ARDS, no, coming from the distress syndrome. So defined clinically as dyspnea, bilateral pulmonary infiltrates, hypoxemia, and non-cardiogenic edema. So TRALI is non-specific constellation of dyspnea, hypotension, no cardiogenic edema, and fever. So basically, yun ang pinagkaiba nila. But in actual situations, we don't have the right actually to assess the patients, no, na nakaka-experience ng ganito during or after the transfusion. No, kaya lang, of course, the doctors or the nurse on duty, kung sino naman po yung nakatoka sa ating pasyente that had signs and symptoms during and after the transfusion, will report to the lab kung ano po yung nangyari, no, during or even after the transfusion, for us to perform Coombs test, no, direct and indirect method, to identify possibility or reasons kung bakit nagkaroon ng transfusion related infections or signs and symptoms. So for the leukocyte reduction, ito yung irradiated na tinutukoy ko sa inyo, no. So the aforementioned morbidity, we want to reduce the morbidity, no, and or mortality. So this one have randomized controlled meta-analysis now have failed to justify universal adoption of leukocyte reduced transfusion. So para sana maiwasan 'no, yung mga pagkakaroon ng mga incompatibilities as well as the, TRALI, TACO, and the, GVHD as well as the ARDS 'no, ang gusto sanang mangyari ng ating mga researcher is lahat ng sample na, ita-transfuse sa ating mga recipients ay irradiated WBCs wherein we kill the WBCs that activates the complement system of the body and also triggers immune response. However, no, since AABB standards tayo, so sa US there are around $223 no per unit ng expense kapag ka lahat ng blood sample natin ay i-irradiate. So this is also one of the problem, no, kasi ito sa Amerika na yung setting, but still they cannot afford to perform and do this, no, for each and every patient. So, of course, no, what more sa Pilipinas kapag ganito yung ating magiging setting. So, in cases of incompatibility sa Pilipinas, we just strive for another blood bag. Then we perform Coombs test, we perform antibody panel. The listing that we can do for them is to identify if they have existing rare blood group, ganyan, para maiwasan yung future transfusion related infections, injuries, no, or reactions. Storage lesions, no? So predictable changes to RBCs during storage. Of course, hindi na maganda yung itsura ng RBCs. There could be loss of biconcave shape renders. The cells less deformable and more adherent to endothelium. This is in the result of depletion of ATP and 2,3-DPG, which maintains the sugar levels in the RBCs, no, that serves as its energy source, no, to maintain or to increase its survival rate. So kaya po hindi na ideal na pinapatagal masyado or pinapaabot pa sa expiration date yung ating blood product. So for the platelet transfusion, of course, very important to identify the collection method, the transmission of bacterial infection prone to TRALI, febrile reactions, circulatory overload, CABG surgery patients, and there are limited data. Actually, sa Pilipinas, hindi limited data, limited collection. Limited collection for us. Kasi nga, mabilis yung kanyang expiration date which is 5 days only because we need to maintain this one at 37 degrees Celsius with constant agitation. That's why it is also prone to bacterial contamination. So, ayan, 5 days, semi-permeable plastic. So, yung yung kapal ng plastic nito compared to the CPDA1, mas madali pong mabasag, no, yung plastic na to. Kaya usually, yung mga fresh frozen plasma, cryoprecipitates, and the platelets, we usually cover them with plastic on the surface, yung mga plastic labo. Pinabalot pa namin sila nun para hindi sila masira, lalo na yung mga fresh frozen plasma and cryoprecipitates. Kasi kapagka tumigas 'yan sa freezer, ang nangyayari is, kapagka ano na natin, tinow na natin, gagawin na natin siya ulit liquid from being frozen to transfuse it to the patient. Yung ibang mga bugs, butas, nabubutas, 'no, kasi siyempre nagiging solid sila upon freezing. So, yun. Nabubutas kasi yung parang sa freezer lang din 'di ba na ah, minsan hindi tayo nagiging careless 'no, we just try to ayun parang naghahalongkat ng mga sample gano'n. Kasi we have to find the the, the blood bugs that has, a shorter, lifespan 'no, or yung mga mas madali ng ma-expire. Bacterial contamination 'no, 1:2,000 to 1:3,000. When we say, bacterial contamination, yung sa mismong, blood bag. Pero 'pag nagkaroon ng bacteremia, ayan, so puwede nating sisihin 'no, yung platelet transfusion because, yun nga hindi na siya safe, puwedeng hindi rin napansin na, um, meron palang bacterial, infection. So, hangga't maaari sana 'no, maiiwasan sana yung mga ganitong procedure in the hospital that we subject to transfusion 'no, even if we want to ensure the safety, we cannot, 100% guarantee 'no, it is, safe. Other risks 'no, trally and, febrile reactions, including dyspnea, orthopnea, peripheral edema, rapid increase in blood pressure. Hmm. 'Yan, FFP and cryoprecipitates, factor plus fibrinogen. Cryo made FFP higher concentration. So this one is for the patients with coagulation disorders, no, and risk of use, infection, allergic reactions, hemolysis, circulatory overload, ABO incompatibility, and trally. So yung ABO incompatibility, this one is rare kasi um, it does not have cell wall. It does not have the capacity no to induce infection. Madalang yung ABO. Actually sa ibang bansa pagka cryo at saka FFP hindi na siya kino-compatibility testing. Kasi wala namang cell. So, walang transfusion reaction, 'no. Kaya nga lang may mga patient na mataas yung kanilang, allergic, reaction. So, yung iba nagkakaroon pa rin ng allergic reaction. Appropriate 'no, coagulation studies and bleeding risk, we have to assess that before any kind of transfusion, but it is actually the doctor's call, no, and inappropriate volume expansion. So let's say for example, um, gusto nating gumaling kaagad yung dengue patient, sige magsalin kayo kaagad 10 platelet bags instead na dahan-dahan lang dapat. So, yung inappropriate volume puwede rin siyang magkaroon ng, complement activation sa katawan 'no. Kasi sa dami ng blood bags na naisalin, puwedeng mahirapan na tayong mag-identify kung alin dun yung nag-cause ng, trally sa ating patient. Now, for the immediate hemolytic transfusion reaction could be intravascular, transfuse RBCs by complement. So, pwedeng IgM in nature. Ito na yon yung transfusion ABO, incompatible blood, plasma, or pwede ring non-ABO antibodies. The non-ABO antibodies that we are referring to is the the other blood group system, no? Na yung mga Duffy, ganyan. Clinical manifestations, no, fever, but mostly febrile. So febrile is just increase of 1 degree of temperature. Clinical manifestations, back pain, dark or red urine, bronchospasms, no, hirap yung paghinga, shock, DIC, continuous bleeding on DIC, disseminated intravascular coagulation, then organ failure and death, no, kapag hindi talaga na-identify. Halimbawa, tama naman yung compatibility testing mo and all, pero mali ka pala ng pagkakasulat sa blood bag. So instead na B, nalagay mo A. Ganyan. Then evaluation of suspected cases, no, check blood product or paperwork to ensure that there was no clerical error. Notify the blood bank or transfusion service. Obtain blood and urine sample. So this one is the best no evidence that we could have to assess um, the reasons for incompatibility. And you have to repeat again. 'Di ba na-release mo na sa lab, pwedeng inulit mo pa yung procedure, but you have to repeat it again to ensure na um, hindi po hindi po doon nanggaling yung reactions or to identify if there is a presence of minor blood group system with the use of Coombs test. So management, how do we do this? No, stop transfusion immediately. IV, we have to apply IV crystalloid or colloid. Sa Pilipinas, hindi natin afford yung crystalloid. So NSS yung ginagamit natin. Maintain BP, heart rate, maintain the airway. So sometimes no, we give oxygen, diuresis, no, fluid, loop diuretic. So mannitol, no, may cause overload. So we have to stop no yung ating transfusion. Monitor renal and coagulation status kasi baka magkaroon ng renal damage, renal attack no because of the um, activation of complements. So delayed, immediate is IgM, delayed is IgG. No, IgG mediated lysis of transfused red cells na usually begins 5 to 10 days after transfusion. So the patient may experience, pwedeng nasa labas na po siya nito ng ospital, jaundice, falling of hematocrit, positive direct Coombs test, fever, not generally life-threatening. Not generally. But of course, kapag ka meron ng jaundice at positive direct Coombs, of course, there will be interventions no, na gagawin yung mga doktor. Pwedeng ipa-monitor siya ulit sa ospital or pwede rin bigyan siya ng medications. So, febrile non-hemolytic transfusion reaction. So, meron kasing lagnat, meron kasing febrile fever na nagkakaroon ng lysis. So, pwedeng merong bleeding sa kanilang urine output. Pero pag non-hemolytic, meron siyang lagnat, pero wala naman siyang evidence sa kanyang urine na meron siyang hemolysis. So, this could be the triggering of the immune response, no, caused by the cytokines. So, para lumabas yung mga WBCs, kapag lumabas kasi yung WBCs that was triggered by immune response, syempre nagkakalagnat. So, this one is the activation of the HLA or the human leukocyte antigens. No, incidence is less than or equivalent to 0.5% of units transfused. So, it is still considered to be safe, no, more common in multiply transfused recipients. Fever, chills, respiratory distress, and severe reactions. So to reduce incidence or severity, so we have to induce the we have to transfuse the leukocyte poor product. So ayan, meron kasing WBC rich tsaka WBC poor na mga WBC products or derivatives. So hypoxemia, transfusion, ito na yung TRALI, transfusion-related acute lung injury. So hypoxemia is the loss of oxygen no, in bilateral pulmonary infiltrate. So hindi na makahinga yung ating patient. So usually begins acutely within 6 hours of transfusion. So this is what we are talking about, that whenever you had committed very small or very small or kahit clerical mistake lang sa blood bank, talagang mamamatay. So imagine you don't have to wait for 24 hours to see a reaction. 6 hours lang meron na. No, yung febrile fever nga, pwedeng during or puwedeng right after the transfusion, which is about 1 hour. So in cases like this, no, every time that we release blood, no, blood bags sa blood bank, talagang may halong dasal yan eh, no? At saka may halong ang daming verification, no? Hindi mo lang ipapacheck yan sa kapwa medtech mo, papacheck mo pa yan sa chief medtech mo. Pag andyan yung pathologist, ipapacheck mo din yan sa kanya. Kapagka nagduda ka ng compatibility sa microscope, uulitin mo, hindi ka gagawa ng resulta kasi hindi mo gugustuhin makapatay ng pasyente. No, and clinical acute respiratory distress, fever, chills, pathophysiology, so underlying lung injury. So pwedeng sepsis, pneumonia, polymorphonuclear cells to adhere to pulmonary capillaries. Mediators, ito yung mga holy grail na tinatawag, neutrophil, antibodies, and cytokines. They are all being activated. So, yung katawan ng pasyente ay nasa panic attack na. So, ito yung upper, no? So, kung mapapansin niyo, nagkaroon na siya ng mga, sorry. Nagkaroon na siya ng mga lines, nagkaroon na siya ng distress, kasi dapat ito clear lang siya. So, may konting or meron na siyang partial blockings of the airways. Yeah. Risk no FFP is greater than platelets, greater than RBC. So RBC is the most common no na nagko-cause ng trally followed by platelets followed by the FFP. So stop the transfusion if it's still in progress. Then provide oxygen sa ating patient. Kaya po ang patient na sinasalina ng dugo, meron diyang nakasuksok sa kanila na thermometer or meron silang, oximeter, at saka oxygen at saka BP, monitoring during the transfusion lalo na kapagka medyo maganda po yung ospital 'no. Kapag medyo hindi naman maganda, oximeter lang yung meron. Tapos, check lang every 15 minutes yung nurse, gano'n. So, hindi po puwedeng sinasalinan yung ng dugo yung pasyenteng walang bantay, 'no, kasi nga puwede siyang maka-experience ng, febrile fever. Other signs na allergic reactions, anaphylaxis, IgA deficient recipient, lung damage from microaggregates, for massive transfusion. No, transfusion-associated circulatory overload, bacterial infection, hypothermia, citrate toxicity, hypocalcemia, graft versus host disease, and of course, the air embolism. Yung sa air embolism, usually dito sa taas na area, no, parang makakakita ka ng spot dyan, parang may butas, parang may bilog, gano'n. So, that is the air trap inside. So, nakakatakot po yun. Puwedeng kamatay yun ng pasyente agad-agad. Yan. So, based on statistics, well, old statistics na 'to, but, just for us to have a clearer preview kung ano ba yung madalas na nagko-cause ng, transfusion-related, risk 'no, it is still the, trally 'no, trally. Pero kung mapapansin ninyo, upon, years 'no, years of, development sa blood bank and researches, 'yan, bumabagsak or bumababa naman po um, yung mga, risk, yan. So, dapat maiwasan talaga 'to, eh, yung non-ABO tsaka ABO. Yung bacterial minsan di talaga natin yung maiwasan lalo na sa Pilipinas 'no. 'Pag nawawalan ng kuryente, walang stock, walang UPS yung mga makina or walang mga generator, na-e-expire talaga, naabutan talaga ng expiry ng blood, sad to say. Tapos hindi talaga mawawala yung anaphylaxis. Kasi hindi naman din po lahat ay nagpapa-check 'no ng kanilang, nagpapa-check sa allergologist kung ano yung mga allergies nila, gano'n. So, yun lang po. So, Jeff, nabigay ko na po ba yung first, slide, yung first PowerPoint last time?